Some games are loud by nature, brash and insistent, screaming for attention with flashing lights and jarring mechanics. But Jetpack Joyride, for all its energy and chaos, is a strangely meditative experience once you settle into its rhythm. Like falling into the same dream every night where you run and run and run, never quite reaching the end, but always discovering something new in the blur of motion. Developed by Half Brick Studios, the same minds behind Fruit Ninja, Jetpack Joyride was first released in 2011, yet somehow it has aged with an almost ageless charm. There's a quiet confidence in its core loop. You play as Barry Steakfries, an everyman with a square jaw and a mischievous glint in his eye, who bursts into a secret lab, steals a machine gun-powered jetpack, and sets off down an endless corridor of danger. It's absurd, yes, but endearingly so. The premise doesn't ask you to believe in it, only to enjoy it. The visual style is crisp, cartoonish, and utterly distinct. Even now, more than a decade after its debut, the art holds up. Not because it's technically groundbreaking, but because it knows exactly what it is. There's an internal coherence to the world of Jetpack Joyride that many more graphically ambitious games lack. The science lab setting is portrayed through layered parallax backgrounds, bustling scientists, and industrial hazards that feel whimsically malevolent. Electric fences that shimmer ominously, missile launchers that seem to enjoy the chase, and zapper traps that hum with malicious glee. These aren't just obstacles, they're characters in their own right, contributing to the atmosphere of constant, gleeful peril. The audio design, too, is tightly crafted. From the satisfying chug-chug-chug of the machine gun jetpack, which doubles as both propulsion and weapon, to the rising wail of incoming missiles and the zing of narrowly avoided zappers, every sound effect feels earned. The background? Music is energetic but not overwhelming, looping seamlessly in the background like a treadmill tune that never quite ends. It reinforces the sensation that you're caught in an endless dash, sprinting across the same lab over and over, but always with the possibility of doing just a bit better this time. At its heart, Jetpack Joyride is a one-touch runner. You press, and hold to rise, release to fall. It's elegant in its simplicity. The learning curve is practically flat, but the mastery curve? That stretches endlessly toward the horizon. There's no final boss, no scripted ending. Instead, it's a game of nuance and timing, of tiny optimizations and increasingly risky maneuvers. You start by dodging basic zappers and rockets, but eventually, you'll be threading the needle between 4 moving hazards while piloting a mechanical bird that poops gold coins. That sentence alone should tell you everything you need to know about the game's tone. Ridiculous, but lovingly so. And those vehicles, the vehicles. They're the beating heart of Jetpack Joyride's variety. Each one fundamentally alters the way you interact with the environment. There's the Lil Stomper, a chunky mech suit with heavy jumps and satisfying squish factor. The Gravity Suit, which lets you flip reality upside down with a tap. The Profit Bird, a satirical flappy machine that trades fuel for coins. The Crazy Freaking Teleporter, which, true to its name, blinks you randomly through space. And the eponymous jetpack itself, of course, which evolves over time into a collection of increasingly absurd designs. Rainbow-powered unicorns, steampunk contraptions, and sleeker-than-sleek sci-fi toys. Each run starts the same, but no 2 runs feel identical. That's thanks to the dynamic level generation and an extensive mission system that constantly nudges you toward new challenges, collecting a certain number of coins, high-fiving scientists, narrowly escaping danger, or getting electrocuted, in a very specific way. These micro goals create a sense of progression even when you don't beat your previous high score. You're always achieving something, and the dopamine drip it provides is masterfully tuned. The monetization model has shifted over time. Originally a premium game, it has fully embraced the free-to-play model, for better or worse. Ads are present, but mostly avoid being intrusive. They pop up in expected moments, after a run, or to offer a bonus if you watch one voluntarily. The in-game store is packed with cosmetic items, currency packs, and boosts, but almost nothing is required. You can play endlessly without spending a cent and never feel locked out of content. That said, long-term players may eventually find themselves tempted by coin doublers or special bundles, especially during events. But that choice always feels optional, not coercive. Speaking of events, the developers have maintained Jetpack Joyride with surprising care over the years. There are frequent seasonal updates. Halloween brings pumpkin-themed hazards, Christmas adds sleighs and snow, and occasional collaborations with other franchises. The Back to the Future and Ghostbusters events were especially memorable, offering themed jetpacks and reskins that didn't just change appearances, but subtly shifted how the game felt. It's a form of reverent remixing that keeps the core intact while refreshing the experience. Progression comes in multiple forms. There's your distance record, your coin total, your mission rank, but also gadgets, passive upgrades that let you tweak how Barry behaves. Want to bounce off the ground instead of dying? Equip Nerd Repellent. Want a second chance after a crash? Try Ezzy Dodge Missiles. Want to defy gravity in strange new ways? There's something for that too. These gadgets can be mixed and matched, letting you experiment with strange combinations and tailor your run style. It adds just enough customization to deepen the experience without making it overwhelming. And then there's the tone. That elusive, hard-to-describe atmosphere that Jetpack Joyride manages to cultivate so consistently. It's wacky, yes, but never mean-spirited. It laughs with you, not at you. Barry's frequent deaths aren't grim, they're slapstick. He's launched out of cannons, flung into electric fences, exploded into confetti. There's a cheerfulness to his endless suffering, a comedic fatalism that reminds you this isn't about winning, but about playing, about delighting in the chaos and trying again with a grin. There's also something deeply comforting in the game's predictability. You start in the same room. You see the same scientists scrambling. The world unfurls in familiar shapes, a zapper, a coin trail, a missile. Yet somehow it always manages to surprise you. That tension between routine and spontaneity is what makes it endlessly replayable. You don't need to learn complex systems or remember deep lore. You just pick it up and go, and go, and go. Technically, the game runs smoothly across devices. It loads fast, rarely crashes, and controls are universally responsive. It's a game that respects your time, perfect for quick bursts or long zone-out marathons. On mobile, where attention is fleeting and competition is endless, Jetpack Joyride endures because it feels good to play. Every tap matters. Every moment offers feedback. It's a tactile pleasure, like popping bubble wrap, but with explosions. The UI is clean and legible, with large buttons and intuitive icons. Menu screens slide in smoothly. Animations are punchy but not overwhelming. The store is clearly laid out, missions are accessible, and progress is easy to track. It's the kind of interface that invites interaction rather than demanding it. An important distinction on touch devices where clunky menus can ruin the mood. Over the years, Jetpack Joyride has inspired a wave of imitators and even its own sequel, but there's still something ineffably special about the original. It's not trying to be a sprawling narrative epic or a complex simulation. It's not chasing trends. It's just trying to be fun. And it succeeds over and over again, with an honesty that's increasingly rare in the mobile space. There's a melancholic beauty to games like this. Games that endure not because of a single bold innovation, but because they do many small, things well again and again without losing their soul. When you return to Jetpack Joyride after months or years away, it welcomes you like an old friend. Familiar music, familiar obstacles, familiar chaos. And within seconds, you remember the rhythm. Tap to rise, let go to fall, dodge the missile, high-five the scientist, grab that coin. And maybe, just maybe, beat your old record by 1 more meter. And if not, well, there's always the next run, and the next, and the next. All right, friends, that's it for today's adventure. If you had fun, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and join our cozy little gaming family. We'll see you tomorrow with more gameplay. Until then, enjoy the gameplay.